Oskar Odom. He's a former detective at the New York Police Department. He joins us from Brooklyn, so it's a pleasure having you on. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Firstly, can you just, while we don't yet know all the details in the two cases, can you talk about what seems to be a propensity of police officers to kill people of color, while they seem more likely to exercise restraint when it comes to white people?
Right. Well, first of all, the last one of the shootings that took place today, the one in Ohio, the good thing about that was that there was transparency by the mayor in which he released the body cam footage. So this helps to give everybody a chance to see exactly what happened. It shows, in a way, it helps to build trust in that it shows that they're not hiding anything and they're able to evaluate what has taken place. During their press conference, they also identified the fact that deadly physical force was being used, as was showed on the camera, and somebody responded. Now, the evaluation of whether or not he should have shot or another taser, if he had a taser, would that have warranted? That's under investigation now, and their policy, protocols, and procedures. And I agree, that's why police departments should have de-escalation training and also racial profiling training.
But are police officers more likely to show restraint when it comes to approaching suspects who are white?
Some are, yes. There are some police officers that are like that, but then there's others that's not. See, what happens is we have 99% of the police officers basically doing a good job. That 1% is causing a lot of problems and causing a lot of issues with inside policing. At certain times, one may view certain things that are happening as being systemic racism that has to be addressed. And it's not a policing thing, it's a world thing. It's not only in policing, it's the police officers are part of the world, and it's in policing.
I just want to throw to you a scenario here, since you've been in the field. Say police officers, white police officers responding to calls of a person with a weapon. What's the difference in what goes through his or her mind when it's a white person versus an African American?
Well, what happens is, and ironically, it will depend on the police officer. And also, what happens is when people come to policing like anything, I'm a veteran also, you bring in preconceived notions that you have with you when you go into certain places. So part of that process is how you process what you're going to and how you view the person. I have worked with police officers of different colors who have not done that. But then also there are police officers who have done that. So sometimes it could be on an individual case, or some may even say that for certain times it seems like it is systemic racism.
So that you mentioned preconceived notions. Aren't there extensive analyses and assessments done of people before they can enter the police force?
Well, it depends. In the United States, there's 18,000 different police departments. So all police departments in there, that's why they, in part of the George Floyd Act, they're trying to nationalize certain training in the police department, because what you may get in one police department, say that a well-developed or advanced police department, in another place you may get 1-2 weeks of training, as opposed to another police department, you get 6 months of training, and it's extensive, and it deals with racial profiling, criminal profiling, and racism. And other ones may be you go through a 1-week course and then you're out there with a weapon. So that's part of the problem too. There's 18,000 different police departments within inside the United States, and they all have their own protocols, policies, and procedures.
I believe the U.S. is still waiting for the Senate to pass the George Floyd Policing and Reform Act. Aside from this legislation, what more do you think can be done to address the situation of the way police address people of color within the U.S.?
Well, definitely it has to be more training, and they have to have metrics in place that help to promote this. You could do all the training you want, and that's key. However, you must have checks and balances when these certain things take place. If someone gets in trouble for it, retraining and or firing. And then also the metrics of when somebody's in policing, they have a guardian or warrior mentality, more of the guardian mentality, and also to have metrics in place, say, for example, that when you encounter someone that you get plus or positive reinforcement when you do something as far as helping one. The way metrics are set up in policing, basically you get rewards when you go to robberies, when you go to murders. You don't get anything for helping people except for the attaboy or whatever you get from there. And then those other metrics that they use are used for promotions or special assignments. They need to redirect that, and they need to change what they have policing doing. They have a lot of police officers going out there writing summonses in disenfranchised community. And the reason why they don't want to take it back to politicians is because it's revenue generating. If they stop that and shifted it to someplace else and let someone else do it, that will be less encounters with the police officers, just like we've seen with George Floyd, just like we've seen all these different car stops. If they didn't have to go out there and do all these car stops, then that would also help to cut down on some of the encounters that are taking place.
Fascinating. All right, former detective Oskar Odom, we appreciate you once more for coming on the show. Thank you for your expertise.